Hello, welcome back to the Culture Mag, and today we're your host. I'm Priska.
I'm Yolanda.
And today we're with Mr200m,
aka Josiah.
But yeah, first of all, we're just going to start off with where was you born?
Where was I born? I was born in Nigeria, Lagos.
Yeah. And what age did you come to England?
I came to England at the age of 9.5 or 10. One of those.
Okay. I came to England when I was 7.
7?
Yeah,
Where you
from
from?
Congo. DRC.
Happy independence. That's a few days ago.
Thank you. What about yourself?
I think I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
One of those.
Where from? Zimbabwe.
Shout out to my Z people.
You gotta love a Zimbabwean. You gotta love her.
But yeah, just talk us through your childhood. Obviously, after coming here, your education from primary, high school, university.
So London was an interesting experience. Many different stories. But then I quickly went from there to Plymouth, where I went from like a really heavy black school to a really heavy white school. I think it was me and my sister, but she was in secondary, so I think I was the only black person at the time for a bit. So
How was that for you?
Yeah, how was that?
I mean, it was alright. I mean, I guess as a black male, it will inevitably be different for some of people. For me, I guess I was like considered cool. Like I was like urban culture.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
I was like urban culture. So when I came, like I was cool. I could beatbox and all these things. So like everybody was just kind of almost like it's a bit annoying when you think about it. When you look back, it's like there's a lot of fetishization. Wow. Yeah, no, it was okay. Like it was okay. It was a bit frustrating because I guess in Nigeria I never knew I was black, and then when I got to this country, it's the first time I realized I was black. Like at that age was when I was like, oh wow, like there's a problem with how I look. So I had a few experiences. I used to have eggs thrown at me when I used to go home, just a bunch of different things. So that was like annoying.
That was in Plymouth, right?
Yeah, Plymouth and having a Coventry actually. When I was in secondary school. But yeah, like so that was okay. I mean, because I was sporty and I was good at stuff, it was alright. I could get away with it, and I was quite a strong person. I could fight. I could.
And you're quite tall.
Yeah, I wasn't tall then.
Oh, okay. Sticky.
I was very short.
Yes, they were. Come on, they're like.
Yeah, no, literally, not even. I think I had like a really random growth spurt. Very.
When I was in year 7, I felt I was the tallest person in the class. Now I feel like I'm really short.
Yeah. That's like.
What happened there?
Everybody just came back and everybody
look at everyone like this. I'm like. Yeah. But anyway, so now college and university. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So from Plymouth, I then moved to Coventry, and then I guess from there did school, just normal stuff. Still majority white. I went to what school I go to? Damn. Westwood. Westwood Academy, which is.
It's in Cov.
Yeah, Westwood.
Somewhere there.
It's actually it's like this direction. What university did you go to first?
I went to UEA, but I studied in UEA in Leicestershire.
UEA, which is
University of Anglia.
Anglia.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a big class team. Did you have a big class team?
No.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry.
It's okay.
Because you missed out.
Yeah, was it lit?
Big Clash was lit. It was really good. I think Big Clash made the university experience, and it's so sad that the years after us didn't get to experience it the same way that we did. Because it was like the year that I went into university was like the height of Big Clash. So good. It really, honestly, it did literally change the dynamics of what university looked like, But yeah, no, I was in a Big Clash team. I made the Big Clash team for DMU, Plymouth University. Really, really cool. But I had to step out because I was focused on athletics, so I couldn't do both. So I was just like, you know what? I just had to step out. And this was in my first year, and I needed money, and I was kind of doing prior research about this to try to get this storytelling thing. I was doing Young Athlete TV, and I was looking for cameras, and I realized that my university had a loaning service. So I had that in the back of my mind. I was just there. So I was in a club now, living my best life, and I remember someone said, yo, does anyone know any photographers? Man needs a photographer for my event next week. I was like, I'm a photographer. I hear the thought process. I thought to myself, this week I've been to like 7 parties, clubs, and a few other house parties. So if I can do 10 events a week, I can get $1,000 a week.
Wow, nice.
That was it. If I was to only charge £100, right? Which I charge more. So at the time, I was like, okay, can't be hard because, you know, in a club you have to make the images look like rough. I remember I shot and it was like too clean, and the guy was like, "Yo, bro, like you gotta like shoot more rough, bro." Like, this is too clean.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they have really low expectations, but they pay good enough cash for that low expectation. I mean, now I learned that the price is low expectation as well, but that's a different story. But I realized, okay, cool. If I just simply have a flash, have a camera, get the images, it looks rough, it looks like people are there. People want to feel the images, like the experience of it. Right? Yeah. If I can do that, then I can earn enough money to just at least pay for my rent, which is how I didn't have any maintenance, I didn't have any student finance. It was how I survived. So that was the beginning of, I guess, the creating, really, like in terms of materializing. So I had the idea of the young athlete, I'd done the research. But the first thing I did before that was photography because of that response. So I became a creative or an entrepreneur because of a problem. So I didn't one day wake up and have this idea. I just saw a problem and I saw a solution for it. Athletics is that I started to get so busy trying to like survive with the circumstance I was in because of the university and student finance that I wasn't able to travel. And the coach I was training with was in Loughborough. So Loughborough's in Leicester, but to get there is very awkward. You got to take a 10-minute or 20-minute train. Then after that, you have to take a bus that comes once every hour or something. So then the walk from the train station to university is about 15 minutes. Wow. And there's no Ubers. There's black cabs. So if somebody doesn't have money, who's having to train 3 times a week or 4 times a week, I had to basically cut costs as much as I could. So me and my boy would get to Loughborough and we'd do a 50-minute walk. So that means that we would leave university at 4 p.m. Our training starts at 7. And we would travel to Loughborough. And obviously there was always train delays and every natural stuff. We'd leave 4:30, we're looking to get on a train. We'd then travel, then we're walking for so long. We get there just in time to start. Wow. So it was really, really hard. So athletics I had to make a conscious decision to stop athletics, which was really, really painful because it was all I knew. And I cared about, I created this Mr200 to really get to somewhere. And now I could get there because of like the finance and this is the passion between why I do things the way I do, why I try to build communities around resourcefulness, because it's like there are so many limiting factors just based on finance and all these different things, and it was quite sad. So yeah, I had to put that on hold. I basically maxed out as much money as I could training, but it got to a point where I couldn't do it. Which pushed me into like real sports depression. Like I went through real depression, real anxiety, away from just the normal circumstances of what I was going through. It was a lot. So I had to quit, which was really painful.
Do you feel like, sorry to cut you there, do you feel like if you ever became financially stable in life, you'd go back to athletics?
Yeah, I've started now.
That's great to hear.
I literally started last week.
That's great to hear.
Are you aiming for the Olympics again? Or?
For sure. I mean, depending on
how it goes. So you're keeping the name Mr200m, just to clarify to everyone?
I mean, it's me. I mean, I guess branding-wise online, hopefully, I think there's my future plans. I just want to change my name to Josiah Hyacinth, which is what I am. So that was like the journey of how I started everything. And then from there, I'm someone who believes in always being as excellent as possible. My English teacher in my school said you have to be so excellent that they don't think you're black. So that they don't see that, so that they forget that you're black. And this was like a white lady who just really believed in me. Because she stood up for me every time, and it would always cost her something. Even when I did nothing wrong. So she told me, listen, Josiah, you have to be so excellent because this is the way the world is.
Of course.
And that was everything. So that's always stayed with me as I grew up. So when I was doing photography, I was like, I gotta be excellent. So I started to learn photography. Then I started to do other shoots and started to do editorial work and started to do random things. And that then took me to random places. I got published, I got this, did lots of random really great things, and that was the journey of creativity. And then whilst doing the YouTube, I was building the audience, whilst building my following, I became an influencer, or what they call it, influencer. I hate that word.
Why do you hate that word?
Because I think we're all influencers, right? I mean, and you can't measure influence. I think we're all, like, you probably have a family member who looks up to you. That's influence. We're all influencers, right?
That's true, actually.
That we all help somebody in some way or another, even when we don't even know. I think that's real influence, and you can't measure impact.
But you agree, like, it gave you a platform.
I now had a platform, which is an influencer. So I had this platform, I had followers, I had people, brands trying to work with me to use me to sell the products. But mine was a bit odd, because I'm a male and I had a heavily female audience.
Yeah.
It's really odd. So the types of stuff I was getting didn't actually make sense for me. But I was there, I was in the spotlight in that way. I was also learning behind the camera, doing the photography, the videography, building my name in that way. So at the center point, I started to see opportunities to connect everything together. And that's then how I then moved from just creating content to now strategizing content.
And that's
teaching.
your other business. What's that called, by the way?
So I guess it's just Josiah Hyacinth. So I operate under Josiah
Okay,
Hyacinth. That's
yeah.
like, I guess, my business. And then Tribe, which I'll get into in a second, is slightly different. But yeah, I guess from there, I just started to, I was like, photography isn't enough. But through my journey of photography, I realized a lot of problems. You could charge, and be very kind of like, I'll give you rough figures. Like, you know, I started to work with brands who my photography would offer me, I'm not going to give you the exact price, but let's say stuff around like the 20,000s, right? A brand, like somebody's saying, I'll pay 20K for a shoot. And then I'm in university doing £100 for a shoot. And you're looking at that like, wow, what's the difference? So I started to learn why these brands are okay to sometimes pay so much for the same work that I'm doing in here and things. So I started to learn those things. So with that, I started to realize there was so much information that we're missing, which is why I then started the next business, which is to educate and connect creatives around the world to help them become more resourceful. So I was just, once again, problem solving. Saw the problems, I identified I wanted to learn, I wanted to do it. I saw problems, I took the problems down and I tried to solve them in a
And
new way.
is that how you created Tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with Tribe, I was always doing a lot of projects. I would say it's grace, because I don't think I've ever done anything more than work hard. I've worked hard and I've done good work for good people, and I believe that because I was good to people, they represented me and took me to places. I think that's it. I think it's just a blessing, and I'm just very fortunate to be where I am. I don't think I did anything really special.
Anyways, moving on to the fun stuff. Have you got any, what can I say, interesting stories that you can tell us?
Interesting stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell you, I was telling you guys about teeth. So
I want to hear about the teeth again.
So I'm not going to show you guys, but there's a tooth missing right here. I've tried to hide it. I guess there's a few stories. But that one, I lost a tooth because I was brushing my teeth one day and my hand had a spasm. So I punched my tooth out of my mouth. And it actually just scarred everything in my gum, and I had to then pull my tooth out by myself. I eventually went to the dentist to pull out other bits, but pretty much to the majority of my tooth out by myself, which is a process. And yeah, I guess the backstory of why that's so normal to me is because I previously had gone through a situation where I got an infection in my tooth one time, and it harbored for about a year. A dentist who was doing ill practice, and yeah, my face one day exploded and kind of like dropped out, and it was really, really, really deformed. I was in like a ridiculous amount of pain, but I survived kind of like for like 2 days before trying to find a dentist. Eventually found an emergency dentist, and she effectively actually saved my life because, you know, she told me that I was minutes away from experiencing brain damage, because if it exploded, then I would have had brain damage, because it's so close to the brain, especially that nerve. It goes right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that whole process was really weird and really beautiful, because I say beautiful because yeah, like the pain was so immense that she was drilling all the holes in my mouth to relieve pressure, and she didn't do that with anesthesia because there was no time. And the pain was so much that drilling was relief. It was actually nicer. So yeah, I mean, that's a fun story. I mean, that's not really a fun story. Not fun.
The pain that you must have been in, for that to be a relief, like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't imagine.
That's like the fun stuff, really. I don't know.
Is it fun?
Everything's fun, right?
It's not fun.
No, that's not fun. But it sounds painful.
Yeah, no, it's painful, but we rise.
Like managing all of that.
Yeah, like it was hard work. I had to make a lot of sacrifices. Like I couldn't see friends all the time. I couldn't,
social life would have.
Yeah, effective relationships with people I cared about. Like I really did. Like it's a lot of sacrifice, but it was beautiful building up a team in Canada, in Jamaica. I was doing all these random projects, and I was like, wow, like I'm just sat here in my boxes, and I get to sit next to someone in uni. They don't even know what I'm doing, or I get to like, I came into my exam late because I just came from a meeting with NAC, and I'm like, this is so cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, I just had lived a secret life. Like, it felt like I was like a secret agent, because like I said, like you go to your exam and like nobody would know what you've just done. Yeah. You've done something that's going to affect them.
And then
yeah, you know, like it's the best thing. Like, you know, I got opportunity like with Nike to design lots of different things, and nobody really knows that publicly. You guys are the first to know that. But like seeing it everywhere, you know, you see your face and I saw my face in London, like a Nike advert. Recently, and it's like, wow, this is really funny, you know, because I was chasing the athletics sponsorship in athletics, and I quit athletics, and I got the same thing.
You see how God works.
It's crazy. So it was just amazing being able to just do amazing things and just come back to uni like nobody know, and I just lived my life, and I just loved it, just did it. So that was my power. So people would be like, oh, Mr200, you're just a YouTuber, and I was like, yeah. But I was building, for me, I felt like I was building an empire behind it. So that was really tough, but that was in all those experiences and just traveling so much. I started to realize everybody wants to book me for the way I do a specific style, because when I did the club stuff, I did photography and everything for random stuff. But then I started to see where my strengths were. So I only did editorial work. I only started to do stuff that was beautiful, stuff that told stories, because that's what I care about. I love stories. I connect with images. So I was like, if I just do this, I made kind of financial losses, quick money. I lost the quick money, but then I started to make big money. That was what it was. Like, for a moment, there was like a drought because people only saw me as a rave photographer. I was like, I don't know if it's not enough.
That's not you.
Yeah, but then I had to wait a little bit and just keep showing my work. And then after time, I started to do really big shoots, started to get really big opportunities. And I'm someone that I don't care about what name you have per se. If I'm not good for the project, I won't take it. All right. Okay. So some people jump on every opportunity. I've already done that, and I found that a lot of the time I work and I was dissatisfied. So I said to myself, I'm never going to sell myself out. So if I'm not good for something, no matter what name you have, whatever branch, I won't do it if it's not what I actually like doing.
So have you ever felt like that? Sorry.
Yeah, literally. That's how I operate now. Ever, like anything I do, you guys even know from the emails, like like I have to first feel it out to know. Do I read like? It's not so much. I don't really care about being known. I really care about doing things that are useful. I think that's something I think people don't really consider. Even in the UK, like for a lot of YouTubers that just do YouTube, they're people. They're really people who do care about real things. And for some, the YouTube is their everything. For some, it's just expression. For me, YouTube is just expression. It's not a career path. So I really care about people. I really love people. I want to build people. One of my favorite things to do. I work with a few hair companies. Okay. And I would love to start a wig company.
Yeah, no way.
I would love to, because it's the rewards. It's so simple to set up. I mean, it's not simple. You need resources, right? But it's such a rewarding industry because you can make so much money. Like, black girls love hair. And you guys show and express yourself through your hair. And then I look at a lot of my friends. They replace their hair like every 3 months. Okay, cool. If you're my client, I can supply you good enough service. I know that if I give you one, I'm gonna get it for the next 2.
The next one,
like
it's gonna keep coming back to you.
Yeah. So I love the strategy of the simpleness of human habit in business. So I love working on projects like that. That's stuff I care about. I would take that any day to do for free than to do just for like any kind of financial gain alone. Because I guess when you sit back and then you see that you've done a lot and you can't attest for anything. I think that's very hard. I think I went through that in a very small level where I did a lot of the shoots. I did everything. I shot pretty much like for minimum of 3 times a week, every single week for a period of 3 years. And I worked hard. But then I look back, my portfolio now is most of the work I've done a year ago or 6 months ago. Because I don't like any of the stuff I did. I just did them because of the money, because I needed the money. And if I could sell myself for £100, and I didn't like it, how much more so than when the stakes are high? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I can't do that. I've got friends. I can connect you with creatives who will be much better than me if they're just better at me at the job. I'd rather do that, because if I can build 10 people, then I don't need to be the person that's the only black person in the room. I think it'd be beautiful to have more, because the industry has. I had an interview like last week, and she said I've spoken to over 1,000 creatives and photographers this week. And I've only spoken to 4 black people who've made it into the industry. You're one of them.
Oh, wow.
That's like really scary. Who are really at the level that these corporations really consider to be competitive. And that's very sad. And I've always wanted to get more people in the room, because my group of friends are extremely talented. And I found that in uni, I was the one trying to get them the opportunities, and that isn't, that's not what I want the rest of my life, to always be dishing out stuff alone. I want them to be able to be called for who they are.
And have that platform as well.
Yeah, you know, that they're actually talented. Their work speaks for itself, and it's like I love referring people, but it would be so great if you were seen for the worth that you are. So that was like really what pulled everything, and that's what Tribe 318 really became about. It was like, I get so many opportunities because people want my style of work. So I try to build people to be able to create any different style, that even if it's not my style they reproduce, I can still refer them anyways to see if that they can build something from the things I couldn't do. And then there were some jobs I just couldn't do, that they were general jobs, so I started to build teams and say, okay, cool, I'll take the project to Josiah and I'll hire you. So I take the money and just give to you.
Wow, okay.
But the project name, you get the credibility along with my name. It's your project, it now becomes yours. But because I'm the connect, I can't say to the client, oh yeah, go over to this person, you know. So I realized that my word and my vouching for people became valuable in the industry that I was. So that's what Tribe 318 really became, was me trying to connect people worldwide to see, okay, great, I need a drone shot of a scene in Jamaica. I don't want to pay for it here because I want a specific type of shot. I want a shot in the Blue Mountains. So we get a drone person who lives in the Blue Mountains to shoot that. That's great. That's so powerful. And then imagine now you have one project where like 318 different creators from all across the world all shoot one scene and make one video. It's not so much the video that's going to sell, it's the story. So I want to move creatives from just selling video to selling stories. You know, that's what sells in the world, storytelling, the bigger picture. So that was what Tribe 318 really became about, connecting people in the way that I became too busy. I didn't want to do everything. And there are always people who will take the stuff that you don't want to do. That will be everything to them. So I tried to make a method of connecting as many people as I could from the position I'm in, hopefully to equip them to be valuable as they actually are valuable. And everybody's timeline is different. So I tried to achieve things unrealistically without looking at the full picture of even the people I was looking at. You know, and life is like an iceberg, right? That there's so much that we don't see underneath. But you're working to kill yourself for what you see underneath. And I think even with the mental health thing I realized, damn, like if I just start again and put the time in, I can still get the same result. You know, 100%. I damaged my body in every way. I had to learn how to walk again, and a different injury I had with athletics. To find out, I'm really happy now, starting again. That's it.
When you started last week, I think.
I'm like, when I was there, I was like, wow, okay, I'm just gonna start again. You know, sometimes we just think we have no time, and these things, time measures you, so you always have time. The scary thing now, I'm learning about trying to balance living in the present. Because it has affected my health. Like I've gone through 2 minor heart attacks. You know, like that was hard. You know, it says like a minor heart attack, but it's that part of my heart is just bigger than the other side, which causes a sort of panic. That is considered to be like a heart attack. It's not like a heart attack. It's not the same thing.
You weren't balancing like
I was just working. I was working.
It was like time's running out. You know,
someone's pushing us.
Time was before us. It's gonna be after us. It's just our time, our clock. Maybe a little bit different, but we can help those things. Live a good life. Be healthy. You can, you know, potentially you can help live a happy enough life to get things done. So yeah, I've laid down the pressure.
That's good.
I think it's important. I think it's important now, as a black person as well as black people. I've been having very fruitful conversations with my family about my mental health, which is really good.
That's good.
I share my anxieties with my dad and my parents. We talk about them. You know, my mum, she said, "Oh, Josiah, all this anxiety that all this mental health about all the time. Like, what's wrong with you?"
Just pray.
But she, and that's the thing. Maybe before she may have done that. My parents are very slightly different, but she may have done that. But she was like, "Oh, just be careful, because you know when you speak on these things." Like I said, it's true. You're right, but I have to share that there's not many people who are going to talk about these things so expressively, and I have the ability to. She now said, so what's the problem? Why? What's wrong with you? I said, in my 22 years of living, this is the first time I've had that conversation. I said, that's the problem. Is that if we can normalize those conversations, that then there are more things that we can try to solve in each other's lives. So, but at least we had that conversation. That's good enough.
That's so big as well, because like in the African community, like not many people express their feelings. It's like you don't need, most people don't even have like that relationship connection with their parents.
And I think we have to look at the fact that our parents came from incredible amounts of trauma as well. Like if I'm hurt by what I've experienced, imagine what my parents
10 times worse. We haven't
like as in coming from a foreign place to be like considered like an alien. When you were worth something at home, now you're worth less in a new place, trying to raise it. Like once I start to see my parents as humans before parents, I start to realize, damn, like I have to. There are things that I'm gonna have to teach them. Like with my hair, my dad said something so beautiful. He said, when we were in Nigeria, my uncle, he came home with braids, and my dad like told him, get out of the house.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
No way.
that was that. Yeah, it was like, you don't come into my house with bricks. So that's a it was like, and my dad, and this is why I love my dad, because my dad is a developing father. He listens, he tries to learn, he seeks God to learn. But he said, it's so funny that even my son now, look, he's doing dreads, and he just laughed. So, you know that yeah. So
that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was big because, you know, like maybe even when I got piercings, my dad said, you know what, I don't agree with this, but just don't wear it in my house. I can say to my mom, I don't like when you do this, and my mom can say to me now, just I don't like when you do this to me. Like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Normalizing that's been a beautiful transition for my family, and I really wish that for everybody else.
100%.
Yeah. Statistically, more black men are likely to suffer with alexithymia, which is the inability to express emotional words, and that's because of trauma and socio-economic issues. So I'm fortunate to have a father who was expressive, who taught me how to express, who didn't just say don't do that. He told me why I shouldn't do that. I knew the language.
Yeah.
So for young people, they don't really. So a lot of people may not have had that. But my experience with that was fairly okay. But I say for people who haven't had different experiences, is that it's never too late to learn how to speak. I think if you change your language, you can change your life. Which means you have to equip yourself enough to get the cathartic effect of words. Words are expressive. When you speak your mind, you feel okay. And if you didn't have that before, what can you do now to begin to equip yourselves to be able to speak the things that you couldn't speak before? Effectively, a lot of us are solving secondary school problems with primary school minds and words, primary school languages. In your life, as your life changes, you should increase your language, and your understanding should change as well. So I think that's my advice, that you should evolve your code of conduct, your speech, your language, so that you can solve the complexities of life with the appropriate ways. That really is what helped me away from. I still suffered the trauma, even though I had an expressive father, but because I had to make a decision to change my words, because I realized I didn't know the words of what I was feeding, but they were there.
Okay.
So I had to learn it.
Would you consider yourself as a mentor to people?
So I mentor about 21 people right now.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Between the ages of 18 to 25, but then I have a bunch of older people. I spend the majority of my day having conversations. Soft mentorship, I'd say. So I talk to a lot of people, I help a lot of people as much as I can. So yeah, I'd say I'm a mentor, but I'm first a mentee. I have my mentors. I'm learning. So that's why I'm first a mentee. I guess the future's really exciting. So there's a couple of projects right now. I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I've been working on redefining all the stuff I do. I guess so. The future's really exciting for me because I don't know what it's going to look like per se, but I guess on a personal level, I'm happy to be doing things I'm doing exactly the way I want to do it. So the next few years, I'm going to be working with beautiful companies and redefining and putting more people like us in spaces, which have really, tried to get more people into executive spaces that are black, lots of different things. I got to work with a great EY, I don't know if you know EY, Ernst & Young, which is what I've been through, and just sharing some of the things and how we can navigate life just with openness. So yeah, that's the next chapter for me, I think. I don't know. My aim in every day I do is, if you can, the way to make £1 million is to ask 1 million people for £1. Right? It's a very achievable way. Because along the way, people give you 10, some people give you 100, some people give you 1,000. You become rich, or you become fruitful way before your aims and targets. So my life, I translate this to having fruitful conversations. Yeah. So my whole past has been because I've had fruitful conversations. People have put me in different places. I met the guy one of my clients now, I met him through Oprah. A really random story. Yeah, well, like Oprah Winfrey.
Wait, I'm missing.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh wow.
So and that the 4 people that were connected by is him, Oprah, a friend of mine, and another friend of mine. That's the network. That's really random. And it's like you're looking at that like, wow, that's crazy, right? Yeah. And that's because I was good to one person, but one person knows another person. One person knows another person. Another person. My rule is just to be really good to people as much as I can. Not for any reward, just to be good because God told me to be good. And if I'm good to people, people will do the rest of the work for you. Because, you know, if I make an impact in your life today, you're going to remember it.
Of course.
That's all that matters, right? Yeah. So with me, what the future holds is exciting because I don't know. Can't really tell you. Because I've spoke a lot of life into people, and a lot of people have spoken life onto me. So on a personal front, I guess I'm writing a book. I'm writing a few books, and that's my next thing.
That's exciting. So books, we've got books coming up next.
Yeah, books coming up next. I want to share a lot of the things I've learned, and I want to just be open about the learning. I'm going to release a book this year. It's called From Scratch. It's about kind of embracing new beginnings from the lens of a child, and just it's kind of like an open book about some of the things I've been through, and just sharing some of the things and how we can navigate life just with openness. So yeah, that's the next chapter for me. I think, I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, hopefully when your book comes out, you know, hopefully you come back again.
Of course, I'm gonna buy it. If I don't see your name there,
I get a discount.
The book is gonna be cheap. It's gonna be mad cheap.
Never discount. You know that one thing as well when like your mates they put business. Oh, I'm gonna get discount. I find it so cheeky.
Just start. I think. Just start. I think. Statistically even says like every generation that's going to come after is going to try to seek perfection more, and that's actually going to be a reason why ideas don't work. That if you can't seek perfection, you have to seek the process of it. I think the journey of getting there is a really beautiful thing. I think many people's ideas die because they have, I wrote about this last week, they have the issue of the architect and the engineer. The architect is somebody that dreams, but then the engineer is limited by the law of physics. So there's only so much that the architect can create. But so many creatives, they come at the architectural stage, but they try to engineer it without even giving it the liberty of design that it needs to have. The architect goes wild, but the engineer actualizes the wild things. And it's not to say that it isn't possible, it just isn't possible now. So, you know, there was one time we couldn't land on the moon, now we walk on it, right? Dare to dream, and I'll say start. Then I'll say the next thing after that is when you have issues, solve the problems as problems, because that is what creativity is. If I see a problem now and I solve it, the creations I create are inevitably going to be more better and more responsive. So I'd say that's my three things. I'd say dare to dream, start, and solve the problems. Look for problems in the world and solve them. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, we'd like just to sum this up again. Thank you for being with us today, Josiah. It's been great getting to know you, and then hopefully everyone's going to watch this back and get inspired, motivated, and hopefully to have you back as well. I'll be back again.
Oh yeah, definitely. Talk about that book.
Yeah.
Which is, when is it going to come out?
God, you guys put pressure on me. I don't know. I'm currently... I've currently planned to get it out by sometime in November.
Okay.
But as a creative, you'll get the book when it comes. But I'm hoping to leave this. What year are we? 2020. I'm hoping to leave 2020. I'm so much in the future, honestly. I'm hoping to leave 2020 as an author. I'm not really caring too much about sales of the book. I'm not doing it for a publisher. It's just a self project. So I'm going to self publish it. But what I want to do is just to share stories, because I think as you guys really care about, the inspiration really goes a long way. So that's what I would aim to do. I don't really care about the success of the book.